So today we'll be going with the enthalpy of interconversion or like states of matter. To understand this topic, we need to start from very basic. So yes, we will be doing that today as well. Before starting this topic, I guess we should know the meaning of this word enthalpy, which means heat. Which means heat. Like it's like conversion or the changing we could bring just because of heat. If we provide heat to any state, that will change its position. The word enthalpy just simply means when heat is provided, or the meaning is heat. Okay, if we talk about interconversion, that is like the transformation of matter, transformation of matter. Okay, so like uh, enthalpy means heat, interconversion means transformation or conversion of matter or states of matter. Okay, so before starting, like, let me tell you, we have like six states of matter, but the common state we do study that are three, and three are the non-common. So let us start with the common states of matter. So the which I am writing, these are known as the common states of matter. Common states of matter. So in that, first one is solid. As we know, this state, what we will do, like, is the conversion. We have to transformation of material. So what if we will convert this like solid to liquid, what will happen? So we'll study today this. If we are giving heat, like if we are enthalpy, or we are giving heat, or we are giving temperature to this solid, or if we have any ice, we are just giving its temperature. So what if we have just given the temperature? We just given the temperature, and what will happen? The conversion of solid into liquid, let me write this, liquid, is known as melting or fusion. So this means when solid, like if you have anything in a solid form, so if you want to convert that or interconversion between solid to liquid, what we will do, we will just provide heat, or we will just provide temperature to the solid form. What it will do, it will start melting, or that was also known as fusion. Okay, so this means when we provide heat, that will change its state, and that state is known as melting point, or like not point, but that is melting point is simply when, like, what point that start transferring, that start conversion into it, but this process is known as melting point. Okay, if we talk about liquid, what happened, like in this liquid there would be increase. If we will just provide heat, their motion, we have very less molecules in the liquid as compared to the solid, so their kinetic energy will start like moving, or that will increase, kinetic energy will be increased. So what will happen, let me tell you. So that process here, it was melting. When liquid is converted into gas, what is that known as, that is like that is vaporization. If you provide heat to the liquid state, that will convert into vaporization. And here the question arises, like we have also studied that process also known as evaporation, but let me tell you, we again have two types of vaporization. First one is evaporation, and second one is boiling. So what is in the evaporation, this mean, like, we provide heat to both. Of course, if this word even simply means heat, this means we have to do interconversion, we required heat. Okay, so here heat or the temperature will be provided to this, but that temperature could be varies, or that could be like anything, or very less amount. Okay, low temperature, I'm just writing low temperature, that could be when 20, 30 or 50. Okay, but if we talk about the boiling, this mean where high temperature is required. High temperature, that could be like more than 100 even, like I'm writing 100. This mean, like, the interconversion here, we are having two types of the vaporization, evaporation and boiling. Heat or the like temperature, if you're providing low temperature, that is 20 to 30, so that is evaporation. But if you're providing them a very higher temperature, or so that is known as high temperature, could be any, that is known as boiling point, boiling. And as I told you, point is like when it just start conversion or it start changing into it. Okay, so if you talk about the gas, just for suppose this is done now, like the liquid is done here, heat is provided to all. Okay, let me write heat. What we will do now, here we are having gas. What will gas do? That would be like we provide heat, of course, and that could be that could varies. There could we can give 3000 Celsius maybe, or even high, but it depends. Okay, so that process is known as when like liquid is converted into gas, that is known as ionization. Ionization process, what does happen in that? In that, electrostatic force breakdown, electrostatic electrostatic breakdown, and that is known as gas, like the conversion where low temperature. Now we have again types, not types, but when we just provide low temperature to gas, that forms anion and cation. Okay, these are the types of ions. Or but what if you provide them high temperature? When we provide them high temperature, that is known as plasma. So let's go to the plasma. What does that need? That required a very high temperature, like very high temperature. That could be like that could even varies, but I here it's about 3000 Celsius. It could be 5000 Celsius, or even more than that. It's better if you have more than that. That is known as ionization. Or when there's high ionized ions, just because we have studied low temperature anion cation, so they high ionized state. Okay, but what, this is all done, like the conversion was how when solid is converted to liquid, that process known melting or fusion. When liquid is converted to gas, that known as vaporization. And vaporization have two types, evaporation and boiling. Evaporation is like when we provide very low temperature, but like temperature heat is required in all of the process to like just because heat is used to convert or change its state. So this means low temperature provided, so that process is known as evaporation. Or boiling is like when we provide high temperature. Even we have noticed in our regular like daily life, when we just have like if we have one a bowl and we have just filled with the water and we put on the gas, like on a, we are providing heat into it. And what will happen, we when we'll see that throughout later on, like after even half hour or maybe less than that, that will be very less or even half of what we have just put on that container on the bowl. So what will happen, how that they happen, just because the water start boiling, this means they got very high temperature and that got start like that start boiling. So that's why it's just transferred to steams and that passes out or just gone in the air. Okay, then that was one vaporization to gas and plasma, that was no ionization. When we provide them 300 Celsius or even like low temperature, or when we provide low temperature, that is known as anion or cation. When we are providing high temperature, that is known as plasma. So plasma required a very high temperature, like very high temperature. So yes, this was all about today. And still I wanted to share some key points here. So what if here wait, still some points are remaining. This was about the when solids convert liquid to gas and like that. But what if I want liquid to convert into solid? That point is known as freezing point. Okay, and what about the gas? When gas is converted to liquid, that known as condensation. And what if we want plasma to convert to gas? That is known as deionization. Okay, but still yes, solid into liquid, melting, liquid into gas, vaporization, gas into plasma, ionization, and liquid to solid, freezing, gas to liquid, gas to liquid, that is condensation, plasma to gas, that is deionization. Still I want to share some key points as I told you. So what if you want to convert solid into gas? That process is known as sublimation. But what if we want to convert this gas into solid? When we convert this, that will known as deposition. deposition means this will convert again back, that is known as deposition. And if we talk about the gas, like gas molecule are very lightly packed or not very closely packed as compared to solid or liquid when I provide them heat. Okay, so here we have solid, and we know solid particles are very tightly packed, so they will start deposit or depressed, so that is known as depressed. Okay, so this was sublimation, solid to gas sublimation, and gas to solid deposition. Okay, so I hope you like this. This was all about today. Thank you.